and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. I want to welcome everybody to Trends in the Housing Market. I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank everybody for being part of the show. I want to thank everybody. I don't even know what episode number we're in right now because we lost episodes. The housing show now that built this channel, or that helped build or the foundation of the Mike Martin's channel, is housing discussion. And now I've gotten like 11 more independent, just small housing videos from 6 to 8 minutes long be taken down for bullying and hate speech. So they are attacking housing discussion. Yes, and I am on the forefront when it comes to housing affordability because, we're just going to build more social housing. No, we don't want more social housing. We do not want more social housing. We want better jobs to choose the house we want to buy. And I'll stand by that to the day I die. You know what I'm saying? It is getting really bad.
You suck!
And it's getting to a point where it's getting harder to, like, how do I discuss housing without discussing housing? Because they don't want people to discuss housing affordability. Because apparently it's hurting someone. There's groups of people that are getting hurt out there that housing... that people are discussing housing affordability. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, trends in the housing market. I don't even know what episode we're on because I've lost 4 episodes already from trends in the housing market, and I lost a handful of more independent, small housing videos that I've lost. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. Maybe my English is not good enough. I don't know. Maybe if I should do this show in Spanish. I don't even know what to do anymore. You know what I'm saying? So here it is, guys. So a couple of shout outs here from Gino in the Bronx. Housing is nuts here, Mike. Listening to you live at the deli at work. And then we got Calvin in San Francisco saying, I'm leaving this liberal hellhole. And then we got Markiov in Greenland saying, thank God I'm in Greenland. I don't have to deal with this political jargon. So... trends in the housing market is basically one of the pillars of this channel, and it's like, how do you not be able to talk about housing? I think I covered one of the safest, I'm not talking MGTOW, I'm not talking about all this other stuff that's so relevant and prevalent that people could see, like, they could see what's going on. We just want to just kind of pull open the drapes or the curtains and let in some light and discuss. But they're making it hard to talk about housing.
You suck!
So anyways, we got, so Ben Savage is saying, when you say foreigners don't have the right to buy land from underneath your feet, that is hate speech. Why is that hate speech? There's a lot of countries you go to. I tried to buy myself in Mexico. I tried to buy a house or houses in 2 different states in Mexico, and they laughed at me in the office saying, you're a foreigner. We can't sell to you. What, are you out of your mind? You have to be Mexican to own in Mexico. And, expats living down there, they don't own anything, and they never will own anything. It's on a lease. So, if other countries have this one-way street when it comes to Thailand's like that, a lot of countries, it's very hard to own property. Why is it that a guy living in Canada discussing that we're losing everything, and San Francisco's losing everything to foreign investing, Australia's losing everything to foreign investing, New Zealand's losing everything to foreign investing? Why is it such a problem? You know what I'm saying? So here it is, guys. The comments are flowing. Anna Key saying, hey, Mike, renovating my office and listening to you today. Woo! Thank you, Anna, down in Australia. So, real Kevin Thompson in the house. I'm happy to hear him. All right, guys, let's pick up some stories. We got some pretty big stories. We're going to kick it off first in... let's do a quick channel plug, guys, if you don't mind. Please, thank you. Let's do a quick channel plug, and then we'll get on with the show. Let's go to article scan here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Less than 20% of the people are subscribed to the channel. That watch the channel, like 19.4% or something weird like that. Don't forget to set your reminders for upcoming shows. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for Mike in the Night. And yeah, so I did a little bit of business talks. Maximus Kaiser and the Cantillionaires. Max Kaiser video I did about discussing Max Kaiser and what he's been not propaganda, but what he's been foretelling, what he's been predicting, not post-dicting. Like a lot of these economists out there, they're all post-diction. At least Max Kaiser is prediction, and that's what I like about him. China is getting ready. Are you ready? Video. Massive economic changes. Are you ready? And then big video I did this morning. Urgent housing update. I have some of the stories here tonight. And China starts taxing citizens for global income. That's China taxing expatriates. Would it put a dent in the Commonwealth housing market? We don't know yet. Guys, don't forget to buy something from the store. Mike in the Night, Trends in the Housing Market. All kinds of cool stuff here on Teespring. And if you guys want, go ahead and follow me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on, I'm going to give you guys my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me here, you're more than welcome to drop me any show tips here for Trends in the Housing Market or Mike in the Night. Don't forget to check out the McChronicle. He put up a video 6 hours ago, why they hate Mike Martins, right here. Why they hate Mike Martins. Who is they? That is the question. Check out the McChronicle. And guys, I've been working on this like a dog all week, like the last 3 weeks. It's my online store. I'm going online. I've been kind of holding back on doing it for a long time because I'm lazy. But here it is, guys. I've been putting the store together, and it's just a lot of time to do this. A lot of legwork. So I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. And yeah. Okay, guys, let's get into some big stories. We got to take it off in the UK real quick here because it's kind of important. Because you're not going to believe some of the numbers that are coming out of there. So every major metro July 25 eviction starts. No moratoriums. And Buddy is in the comments saying, Mohammed saying, I love China. Real Kevin Thompson says, Bill 184 just passed today, making it easier to evict tenants. Paul S. is saying, nice website. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, making it easy to... Okay, so guys, here it is. Small engine company, Briggs & Stratton files for bankruptcy. Doesn't mean they're leaving. It means they're restructuring. Chapter 11 means they can continue working. They're filing. They got creditors up there crawling up the wazoo, and they're trying to find ways to pay down their debts and restructure. I don't know what's going to happen with the pensions. We got to do another pension show. We got to get pension discussion going on Mike in the Night, because a lot of people banking on pensions and that you're supposed to be getting. I don't know what's happening. So let's move on. Okay, here it is, guys. Commercial property poses a $61 billion headache for UK banks. Man, commercial real estate, and here, let's get to the point of the UK-focused bank has almost £14 billion tied up in its direct real estate business, about 60% of which involves commercial properties, according to its 2019 annual report. Lloyd's, which makes most of its loans in residential property, has already flagged potential impairments linked to a wider economic impact of the pandemic. Now, could this be, honestly, wholeheartedly, bad books? Signing up whoever and whenever you can, and from the lending level, from the branch level right to the top, to the underwriters who approve these deals. Could it be like a lot of bad loans are out there? There is, and especially in the commercial sector. Now, this is coming out of Scotland. This is a big deal. Homeless applications rose by 20%, not 2%. Not 2.5%. 20% in Scotland last month, regular data shows.
You suck!
20%. That's a huge jump in people. The number of people who presented themselves to local authorities as homeless in Scotland increased by 18% in June. New data from the Scottish housing regulator SHR has shown. This is Data from the Scottish Regulatory found that collective rent arrears for social landlords at the end of June stood at £160 million. This is up 2% from the amount of arrears recorded at the end of last month and up 16% from the recorded at the end of 2018-2019 fiscal year. Guys, we got ourselves a problem here. Like, is anybody paying attention to this? Because you got to remember, a lot of these people that are homeless, I could guarantee that 10% of the ones that are now homeless contributed, worked, and were productive at maybe 18% were productive, heavily productive at one point. So now they're focused on more government housing. I don't believe in government housing. Government housing,
You suck!
sucks. Because what it is entrapping people into the government support. And I can't. Okay, better jobs equals let me buy a house I want to buy. That's it. Better jobs equals better opportunity equals better house you could buy. Instead of having to go to a specific house because your specific income doesn't meet the requirements for you to rent or buy, so you have to go to government housing. I don't believe in that. I believe in better housing equals better opportunities and jobs. Better opportunities to buy what you want. It's not about taking what you could get. It's about buying what you want and being productive in life. So Covey has not made living in London affordable. It's London, England, folks. Reports from estate agents show a drop in London rent costs since the start of the pandemic. Is it really good news for tenants? So here it is, guys. As many other industries, Covey has completely upended the residential lettings market. The pandemic has caused a shift in supply and demand. Many tenants are now moving out of London as working from home becomes the norm. Now, we talked about this for years on the channel, that we're going to see a mass exodus out of these major cities. 4.5 years ago, I made a video said, get out of Sydney, Australia. Sydney is going to turn into a hellhole, and it did. As working from home becomes the norm, which means less demand for property. So who's going to buy the property? Well, you have a lot of foreign investors that need to get their money out of China ASAP. Like, there's even rumors of people renting or trying to rent submarines to move wealth offshore. Meanwhile, places rented out as holiday or Airbnbs are much harder to fill, and so have flooded the rental market, causing an increase in stock. So a lot of these entrepreneurs that bought properties,
You suck!
and threw them on the market as Airbnbs so they could Airbnb because I am an entrepreneur.
You're a loser.
Yeah. So causing an increase in housing stock in addition to this. So all these Airbnb entrepreneurs now put their homes for rent as regular rentals because they can't get the £120 or the £100 a day they used to get from Airbnb, right? All right, we got Anthony in the comments saying, if inflation becomes too rapid, interest rates will naturally rise with it. That's inevitable. Not if we go into stagnation. Into a stagnatory, like Europe has, where interest rates are, in most of Europe, it's in negative territory, but inflation is still going up, right? You got to be careful with that. That's very dangerous. Could we enter a Japan-like scenario here in Canada? We already are. We've been in a Japan-like scenario for years. But in Japan, at least it's frozen, where things are frozen, where the average citizen in Japan could afford to buy a condo or a house pretty much anywhere in Tokyo or any of the major cities in Japan. But in Canada, it's frozen, where we can't even go anywhere and do anything anymore. That's how bad it's got. We got Mike Banks saying 9 Circles of Hell, a.k.a. Dante's Inferno. That's right. All right, so that's it right there. So in London, so renting hasn't gotten cheaper in London, England, with Covey. Has Britain's house price crash been canceled, or is it still coming this autumn? So there hasn't been a crash or a major adjustment in England or Great Britain or the UK. What's happened is prices have been declining slightly. There hasn't been a crash. It's been a deflationary housing market in England. England is one of the very few countries in the Commonwealth, or pretty much in the world right now, where housing is actually reversing slowly. Right? Okay, let's move on. Has Britain's house price crash been canceled? Well, you're going to have to say that about Toronto and other cities. So this is from Belfast. So guys, we're doing Europe first. We're going to get through Europe. It's almost done. And then we'll hit Canada. We'll head off to the States. And then we'll go back to Australia. And then we'll go down to New Zealand and a bit of America there. I've received a lot of articles from people all week. Thank you so much. All right, here we go. Northern Ireland's housing market takes off after lockdown. So Northern Ireland is doing well and prices are going up because housing is still affordable in Northern Ireland. Southern Ireland, or Ireland, unfortunately, they've had a problem. 2 years ago, they started seeing this rare phenomena of bidding wars. They've never seen bidding wars before, and tons of foreign investing dumped into Ireland and really screwed up Dublin. Dublin, I've even read articles here where the city of Dublin has completely changed its facade, its look, its thing, and a lot of people that stayed behind in Dublin are paying more taxes because of the mass exodus of people leaving Dublin, and moving to Belfast, moving to Northern Ireland. And that's been a huge issue. So estate agents in Northern Ireland have reported bumper sales on record viewing numbers since the housing market here reopened last month. While businesses came to a standstill during the height of the lockdown since June 15, buyer demand has soared thanks to those waiting to trade up or down after the 3-month shutdown. The market reopened in a new era of socially distant viewings and uncertainty about the impact of the economic recession. So, uncertain economic recession. Where are the jobs? Where are we going to get money? So many people are signing up for homelessness in Ireland or homeless in Ireland. We discussed homelessness in Ireland here many times. And look what's happening. Housing is still going up. Northern Ireland is the last. And Wales. I think Northern Ireland, Wales are the only two places in the UK right now where you could still get by on a decent wage, on an average wage, and still get by on making payments to your property. Okay, and a lot of people are stuck in rip-off rental trap. New minister promises affordable housing scheme. Now, here's the problem with this housing scheme. I don't like this whole thing where you got to take what they give you instead of being productive, doing what you want to do in life, working hard towards your goals, setting goals, and buying what you want to buy. And that's what I don't like. I don't like the idea. But this one is good, and I'll tell you why. He wants to ensure houses ranging from a price of 160 euros to 250,000 euros will be available to people trying to get on the property ladder. And I like this idea. This gets people into an entry-level house, and they could repair it, they could paint it, they could do whatever they want to it, and not have to appease to a landlord. And if you could afford to get it, that's what, you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why the average house for the average wage earner needs to be 160 to 250,000 euros and not 600,000 euros? 800,000 euros, is because that's what people could afford. If you look at a 250,000 euro mortgage, you're looking at about 700 or 600 to 700 euros per month in a monthly payment. That makes it affordable. That actually makes it worth it. And this is a really good program. I read through it. I even asked this guy, buddy, come on the show and tell us what you're doing. Tell us how. But the one question I was going to ask him is, how do you keep people from buying it and leaving it empty? Like an investor to come in and say, I'm going to buy this property. It's a free market, and I'm going to buy them all for 160 or 250 and just leave them all empty. How do you stop that? What do you do? How does one do that? So this is a good one here. All right. So here it is. Northern Ireland Housing Minister pledges to boost social house building. So they're going to get more social housing and put families into social housing. I think, again, better jobs. All right, we're going to go to Canada right now and see what's going on in Canada. This is the country north of the United States. This is, we've got a great leader here. Our great leader, Justin, JT. I think that's, what's his name here, that's in the Mike Banks' favorite friend. It's Steve the Plumber's best friend. Okay, wow, that water tastes so good. Anna Key is saying, get off the property ladder, and it's a property snake. Pure Grosso is actually right. They just print money and buy everything, and that's what I'm afraid of. That's what Max Kaiser was touching on for the last 10 years. They're just going to create money, and they're going to buy out the economy. The public economy, or the public sector of the economy that's open for everybody, for everyone to go in and buy, that's owned by the private entities. So it's kind of, so they're buying the private entities that are publicly funded by in the markets, right? They're open markets, so that people go in, but now the government just prints out money and buys out everything, airlines, everything. Anthony Ruvalacaba says that socialism, yep, and that leads to socialism always is a deadly slope or dangerous slope towards communism, right?
You suck!
Okay, Canadian home equity debt is finally grinding to a halt. Well, what the hell's going on here? Aren't people borrowing money to live and eat sandwiches and stuff? Canadians have been using their homes as ATMs. Yeah, I've been saying that on my channel for years. ATM machines. But the pandemic is slowing the binge. Office of Superintendent. Okay, I want to see a graph here. Better Dwelling's the best. I love these guys. Okay, yeah, it is going down from how many trillions of dollars? That's in billions of dollars that have been borrowed there. 303 billion, and then it went down. Okay, let me get, okay, hold on. And then personal loans secured for residential real estate. Yeah, it is going down. People are using a lot less, and business loans secure with residential real estate. Yeah, business loans, look at that. And that's from 2017. People started taking out more money to keep their businesses afloat via home real estate. But homeless using their home as an ATM machine from their home. Not the business, but the home. Now, hold on a second here. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why people have backed off using their home equity. And I don't need a graph to show you this, you guys. And I'll tell you why. Is it good? Because people have no more room, no more ceiling, or no more borrowing power, or no more equity left in their homes. That's exactly what it is. Borrowing power, lending power, equity, whatever the heck you want to call it. The ATM machine is out of power. It's offline. Why? Because a lot of the people right now own homes that are worth less than what they bought them for. Oh, Mike, I bought 4 years ago. My house is up 230 grand right now. I'm up 230. Okay, how much do you own on your line of credit, credit cards, cars, all the Mickey Mouse life that you've been portraying to people? Oh, that doesn't count. My house is up right now. So even people that didn't take off home equity, they still have a pile of debt on the side. They have credit cards, lines of credit, all kinds of crap, student loans. Oh, okay, so I'll sell my house and pay off all my debt and I walk away free and clear. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, I say.
You suck!
All right, let's keep going here. Canadian investment in residential home construction drops over 21%. Now, during COVID, residential homes, construction, all that stuff was considered mandatory building homes, so foreign investors could come in and buy us out. was made mandatory during COVID. So construction workers had to go to work every day during COVID because of the importance of keeping this infrastructure up. Not infrastructure like streets and stuff. That stuff shut down. Construction. For overpriced real estate that the local Canadian can't afford to buy. I wonder if construction was mandatory in Australia. If you know, guys, comment below. And New Zealand, comment below. If construction and all these things were mandatory in Australia and New Zealand and all these other countries. Because I know in Canada, it was mandatory. Construction couldn't shut down. You had to build more to get more investment in the country. Because Canada's binging on foreign money. But well, you think about it. Oh, pandemic. Everyone needs to stay home. This is a crisis. It's a crisis. Oh no, but we need to keep construction going. Construction needs to remain mandatory. But so how serious is this? How serious is this sickness? If construction remains mandatory. But then schools close and everything that's in the public sector shuts down. But private sector is on the hook. Fintech is saying, Mike, unfortunately, I could only see the housing prices go up in Canada. Bank of Canada will go negative rates and pump prices if needed. Government makes too much money from the housing bubble. That's correct. That's 100 quadrillion% correct. And I said it here. Well, let's go back over here. Now, there's no post-diction here, guys. I promise you guys, I'm not post-dicting here. So let's go back to the McChronicle channel. And what did he post here? Exactly what Buddy said there. Let me get it. Wow, the comments moved that fast. Fintech. Okay, this is Fintech. Watch this, buddy. This is for you.
Prices in some larger cities had declined in June.
This is for my video this morning.
Were only little below recent peaks in the case of Sydney and Melbourne, Lowe said, adding that house prices in a number of smaller cities were broadly unchanged. Yeah. Why? Because people have mass exoduses the major cities into smaller cities. Now, you're going to start to see a lot of the Commonwealth countries start to crumble because the locals cannot get into. I wonder what the government's going to throw out there. We already had the first-time home buyer's loan.
Pay attention.
Interest-only mortgages, all this Mickey Mouse to try. They're going to go into negative rates. Watch. They're going to remove cash, and they're going to go into negative rates to get people into the housing market because they can't restart this one.
There you go. McChronicle took that clip and put it on his channel. Why? Because it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense what I said there. And it's scary hearing it back. When I hear myself talking back to myself, it's actually very scary. Scary Terry. Tyranet, National Bank, Canadian real estate prices see the slowest June in 17 years. Canada's largest land registry and big six banks are starting to see a slowdown from Canadian real estate. The Tyranet National Bank House Price Index. This week's top stories. Okay, we already covered this last week in, excuse me, guys, trends in the housing market last week. So BNN Bloomberg. Now, this is something that somebody touched on in the comments earlier. Canadian inflation accelerates in June on gasoline and shelter costs. Oh yeah, they're going to start getting you. They have to find a way to subsidize the spending. They're going to come after the middle class, the working poor, whatever's left of the middle class, and they're going to come after the people that don't got it. You know how banks like to charge you $35 for an NSF? The banks love to take money from people that don't have the money in the first place.
You suck!
And that's how it works. They always go after. Okay, Anna Key's got something here in the, I have a construction company client who has not stopped working. $25K handout has been added to anyone wanting to remove their homes. However, they must spend $150,000. This is sending builders crazy. Wow. So we got Mohammed saying, come down to steel. Then we got Johnny Blazo saying, Hamilton's always been a dumpster fire. I love dumpster fires. Oh man, Mike's Shids just sent me $4.49 Australian. Thank you so much in Super Chat. Wow, I haven't gotten Super Chat in ages. Thank you so much, Mike. I think the last person before this that sent me Super Chat was Anthony Ruvalakaba. I don't get too many, so. Axel Rose, Alexander Hamilton. Johnny Blazel says, Mike, where's your hair? Oh, I'm it's too hot. It's too hot, man. I'll have hair in the winter. And it's saying, it was a good look. Yeah, in the wintertime. Mitch Madden saying, residential and real estate has become a speculation, not a place to live and raise a family. Yeah, it's just like any other, it's just like oil, gas. It's become like a commodity. It's been trading. It's been like trading on the markets. And then that's what's happened. And then he says, in a flat or falling market, real estate is not liquid. Discounts and selling fees can destroy value/equity. So, FinTech is saying Waterloo and Kitchener is booming right now. All the major cities outside of Toronto are, not major cities, but tri-cities, secondary cities, quad cities, like way out, all the way to Niagara Falls and London, Ontario are booming right now. Canadian inflation accelerates in June on gasoline shelter costs. Yeah, they're going to get back. They're going to get you back. Canada says the consumer price index for June was up 0.7% compared with 1 year ago, ending a run of negative inflation that began in April in the wake of the COVID. So look at this. This is from the other day. TSX rallies close higher after a mixed day while dollar and gold prices rise. So it's like the markets are becoming, like, again, there are lots of injections are being injected. Niagara region housing prices climb as buyers leave Toronto in search of space. Again, people are just, they're especially if people are going to work from home, people aren't going to deal with this crap anymore. I don't blame people for leaving the city. Toronto, all this crap is getting out of hand. Like Buddy said in the comments, it's just a huge dumpster fire. You know, do you let it burn or you put it out? So if you put it out too early, it's going to stink for a week. If you let it burn and everyone rallies around it and watch it and start over, then you'll have room to put your trash. This is what, you know, I don't know.
You suck!
So Niagara region housing prices climb as buyers leave Toronto. Toronto prices just dropped again for the fourth month in a row. Rent prices, sorry. Toronto rent prices just dropped again for the fourth month in a row. There you go. Rent's going down, but people are leaving the major cities. This is a really good article, and I want to bring it up because look at the price of rent. Look at that. Victoria, BC, London, Ontario, the price of rent's been going up. Then you got Dedmonton, it's over $1,100. Murder Peg, $1,200. East York, $1,200. York, $2,000. New Westminster, $1,700. What's like actually affordable? Unless you move to Regina, it's still $1,000. And Saskatoon's $980. And the ones in negative territory right now, looks like Halifax went down 5% in rental. Toronto went down 1.2% in rental costs. But look, the average rent in Toronto is $2,261. So how much do you have to make just to pay the rent? Let me get my trusty calculator out here, guys. Just let me do some calculations. So average wage earner would need to, so 2,261. I usually multiply it by, so you got to make your wage and a half take home. So let's do take home. Times 1.66 equals. So you need to take home $3,753 a month. That's net, not gross. So in Canada, that's like 40% taxed or 30% depending on what bracket you're in. And this is just to cover your rent. This is to cover your rent and a little bit of cardboard food, like stuff that you can make out of cardboard to eat. If you actually really, that's without a car, that's without student loan debt. That's like you need to make $3,753 a month take home to live in. And then what is that? What would that be? That'd be about $4,830. Almost $5,000 gross you need to make for like a 1-bedroom. Holy crap. See, and for example, let's look at Saskatoon, 980. Average wage earner. Let's go. I like to do 1.65. So that includes your rent, and that includes a little bit of leeway. So you need to make $1,600 take home a month. You need to make about $2,600 take home, $2,600 gross a month to live in Saskatoon. So, I mean, working from home makes it like more worthwhile, in my opinion. What do I know, right? All right, so this is from blog.to if you guys want to check it out. So rent prices are going down. Is it making a difference? No. Like we read the other article, everyone's leaving the nest and moving somewhere else. Math for Montreal. All right, where are we at? Montreal, oh, that's a lot, man. Montreal, 1,651. 1,651. Oops, I just opened my calendario here. Okay, I want to know my location. My calendar wants to know my location. All right, let me open the calculador here. Calculadora. Interesada. Okay, where did I see Montreal? 1,651. 651. So if you're debt-free, this is if you're debt-free and you're on a diet, you don't eat that much. You need to net 2,740. You're looking at about $3,400. The taxes on wages a little bit cheaper in Montreal. So you're looking at about $3,400 gross a month for the average in Montreal, which is 1,600. So you subtract the 1,651 for this. Watch, I'll show you how it works. Subtract. Okay, 1,651 equals. That's what you have left over for food. And that's how I do my formulation. That's what you have left over for food per month, $1,000. Car insurance, credit card debt, whatever. That's what you have left over. And that's on a menial, like, this is like, I'm not in $1 million in debt. Because if you want to do that, then you're going to have to do it. The mathematics get a little bit, it's easier to multiply, but it gets harder to read because you can't stomach it. Mary Gee says, on a diet, haha, have a victory garden. Yeah, Hollywood saying the S industry is massive. People in high positions, human trafficking. It's getting bad, guys. Tig Nim says fasting is cool. Yeah, start fasting. You know, I do intermittent fasting. I only eat from 12 to 6. I did cheat today. I had a protein bar after 6, but I didn't have I had salad for dinner, so. All right, we covered this in the first show this morning. Overseas buyers absent, so we're going to Australia. Okay, before we get to, is this Australia? No, we already got that one there. We read that one earlier. Yeah, this is Australia. So before we get to Australia, let's just read some articles here. Or not articles, sorry. Let's read some of the comments here. Okay, so we got Hollywood saying intermittent fasting is great. Yeah, I do that all the time. Jay Borg says, went to a silver store today. They were sold out of almost everything. Yep, everyone's stocking up on precious metals. Peter is saying fasting and keto. Yeah, I do. I tried limiting the carbs, which I've been doing lately. Did a 9-day earlier this year. Then we got Mike Banks seems pretty upset. Jordan Retro saying you need $30 an hour minimum in Montreal. Yeah, that works out to what the math was there per month. Like, what was it, $3,000, $2,700 a month take home. A gross is $3,400. Yeah, it works out to $30 roughly $30 an hour because you got taxes on that, right? So $30 an hour minimum will bring you down to $23 take home after all the stupid taxes. the free healthcare. We got Hollywood saying, Anthony, it's quite disturbing how many psychopaths are in high positions. Yeah, that's very true. That's definitely something we will be... Guys, why does somebody get timed out for? Holy crap, somebody just got... somebody was spamming the... somebody was spamming the comment section here. Oh yeah, maybe somebody fell asleep on the keyboard, guys. Did Hazan fall asleep on the keyboard? Kevin saying Steve the plumber's pissed. Get him on Skype. I could try getting him. I talked to him. I talked to him when I'm not on the show a lot. I talked to him. Well, like on other, like in other occasions. Like I talked to him a few days, like a week and a half ago. When I was out with my wife, we talked for a bit, and Gary Medeiros was on three-way call, right? And we talked for a bit, and I told him the scenarios. I go, you know, I broke down the scenarios for them, depending on what's going to happen with the foreign investing, depending what's going to happen with Hong Kong, depending with now China taxing their expatriates and trying to get money back. So what China's getting smart, what they're doing is like, we're going to take your entire asset level of what you own in Canada or America or Australia. We're going to take that level of volume of wealth, and we're going to tax you on that volume of wealth because we don't know how much money you took offshore. So they're just going to tax them on what they have. Mitch Mannon is saying local coin shops are notorious for hoarding and charging extreme premiums during a fast upward moves. Who could blame them? Haha. Where is the Raven? I was looking for his channel the other day, says Paul S. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do Australia in a bit here. Let me see. I could try calling Steve. Okay, you know what, guys? Let me know if he comes in the comments. I'll call him. If he comes in the comments, I'll give him a call. I tried calling Gary last week, and I think he was busy. I tried calling a few people last week. Everybody was out and about because the weather is nice. So overseas, now look at this. Look at this. Overseas buyers' absence hurts Australian property market. And I brought this up before. Were you telling me there's nobody living in Australia but overseas investors? What about the people that live in Australia? What, they're not buying homes? Because they can't. They're bought out of their own damn markets. Oh, article scan, please. There it is. Overseas buyer absence hurts Australian property market. And I brought this up last time, and I brought it up the week before, and the week before, and the week before.
You suck!
What the hell? What, nobody lives in Australia? Their housing is sold to foreign investors? Yes. That's why. All right. Coronavirus, COVID likely to see Sydney house prices fall for 18 months, economist warns. Okay, 18 months. Now, see this house right here? Let me zoom this in because you're not going to believe me. You see this attached? You see there's a house there? House, okay? And house. Okay, see that little thing there? I'm willing to bet you 100 to 1 that house right there is over $1 million in Australia. I bet you 100 to 1 that house is over $1 million. It's not showing what the price is. But I bet you 100 to 1 that house is over $1 million. It needs window. I mean, I can't even, I don't even know how to say, entertain that.
You suck!
All right. How a second wave will hit Australia's property markets. Okay, like, are they going to pull the second wave scenario so they can get the housing market corrected? Like, what's going on here? Like, what are they pulling here? Okay, Australian markets are open for another 3 hours. Where are they sitting at? Let me refresh this. Okay, all ords is up 10 points. ASX 200 up 8 points. Australian dollar is on par, well, at 71 cents, sorry, to the US dollar. Oil is just above the $41 mark, sitting at 41.93, up 3 cents. I bought big oil two and a half months ago when it was at the bottom. Gold My stock here, New Gold. New Gold's up. Wow, I bought it at $1.68 or something. It's at $2.15. Gold up at 1,866 per troy ounce, up $1.50. Bitcoin, I don't know what that is in American. And then the New Zealand Stock Exchange 50 is down 3 points, sitting at 11,000. And not too good in the UK. The FTSE is sitting at 6,207. The Hang Seng, sitting at 25,090, up 32 points. The Nikkei not doing so well right now in Japan, down 132 points at 22,751. And the DAX is, that closed earlier in the day, is down 67 points. Dow Jones was up 165 today. All right. How a second wave will hit Australia's property market. It's not even an election year in Australia. Why are they pulling this on their people? But I guess they're going after the jobs. They did the housing, and now they're going after the jobs. That's what I think is happening in Australia. So I found this. Someone actually sent me this from New Zealand today. Singaporean listed businesses, GYP Properties, master plans 500 plus new Auckland homes. A Singaporean business which owns an Auckland mall and master planning a new 500 residence housing estate. Okay, that's nice. Why is a Singaporean company building housing in New Zealand? I'm pretty sure if the New Zealand government wanted to build homes in Singapore, they'd probably tell them where to go. So what's with these other countries building in the common? Like, I know these countries are open for business. What is the underlying motive behind this? Oh, there's Steve the Plumber. Lord Humongous, do you know if Kevin Thompson sleeps on a single bed or it's more of a Murphy bed? Okay, Steve, can you come on the show? Everyone's been asking for you for a long time. I know you've been busy. If you want to come on the show, let me know, please, Steve, if you can. I know we talk a lot outside the show, but it'd be nice to hear from you. So, Singaporean businesses, I don't know, like, I don't understand why New Zealand I don't understand why they're allowing, or what the point of this is when people in New Zealand can't even afford to build their own homes. These kind of homes, like this house, like to build a house like this, like these are little homes, 1, 2, 3 homes here. To build a house like this in San Antonio, Texas, you could build it for 60 grand, 30 grand in lumber and 30 grand in cement and piping and electrical. Oh, Steve the Plumber says he's available. Okay, let's call him here. All right.
¿Qué pasa, loco?
Hey, Stevie, ¿cómo estás?
Tranquilo, huh?
You doing okay, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. So, go ahead. Tell us what's going on, what you're hearing from the underground. What's going on, buddy?
Well, everybody's listing their boxes in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to own one because you can't afford to take even more money out of your pocket in order to deal with the shortfall of every month with respect to negative cash flow.
So boxes in the sky, people, he means condominiums.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gong show. Everybody's leaving Toronto. It's actually pretty bad. Just from a commercial standpoint, in terms of space, I believe it'll be like, 91, 92, 93. Okay, yeah, you have a business, great. Do you want to, just move in, and can you just pay taxes, maintenance, insurance? Don't worry about the rent. Just occupy the space and pay my fixed cost, please.
Yeah. That's what's going to happen to commercial, but real estate is going to be tough because you have all these wingbats that bought these properties because they're entrepreneurs for Airbnb, and now they're throwing them on the rental market.
Sorry, say that again. You cut out there, Mike.
There's a lot of people that are these wingbats that bought these properties to become entrepreneurs and do Airbnb. Now Airbnb is coming back and nibbing them in the bud with this COVID, and now everyone's putting their homes on the rental markets, increasing the supply for rentals.
Yeah, so the get-rich aspect of things where, you could own, a second property or a third property in addition to your primary residence. Things just go up and up and up. Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely not the case anymore. And right now, there's so much supply on the market.
Yeah.
Organized real estate is downplaying it because they have no choice. I mean, they're throwing caution up because they know it's going to end poorly for many, many, many people. But boy, oh boy, is there a mass exit out of Toronto. But there was before this, Mike. I've been on your show many times, and I stated that there was a mass exit, out of Toronto, and now it's just amplified. Many people nobody wants to live on top of each other. They'd rather live in the suburbs and own a piece of property with a backyard, and the whole dynamic has changed. It's all changed.
Well, I got out of Vancouver myself. I saw the writing on the wall in Toronto many years ago in my early 20s. I just didn't see, it was just, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I belonged. And I just took to the road, and I lived then I moved to Miami for a bunch of years, and I did really well there. And I just saw the writing on the wall in Toronto a long time ago, and I don't know, just the rudeness, the everyone just all upset. And you know what? It all ties back to people being in debt. Now, I don't know if you were on the show earlier when I discussed Better Dwelling, put up an article stated that people are no longer tapping into their home equity. Could it be, Steve, could I be right by saying that they have no more equity left in the homes to tap into? You think that's the case?
Oh, you can't get any more sap out of the tree. It's done. The well's dry. You can't get any more money out of the property. It's finished. The property values, you can't get blood from a stone. It's not happening. You've sucked it. You sucked it dry. There's nothing. You're absolutely right. 150%. You can only continue to borrow on against your house if house prices are going up.
Right.
And I'm not talking by 2-3%, or the rate of inflation, so on and so forth. I'm talking about 15, 20, 30% year over year gains. Yeah, okay, fine. Tap into your equity. It's fake ethereal gains. They're false. But, eventually they're going to come back down to reality.
Mm-hmm.
There is so many people that, the only reason why they still have their houses is because they literally are living off their lines of credit. The CERB and making payments and doing this and doing that. Once that CERB is done, there is going to be some significant repercussions. The CERB is done in what, a week? Or sorry, in about a month, rather?
Yeah.
Yeah, so roughly about a month. Deferrals, are the max you could get was 6 months, and it had to be pretty much an insured mortgage.
Right, that's correct.
So, yes, some of those deferrals weren't all 6 months. They were 3-4 months, and then let's reevaluate the situation. Some people, it's done. They didn't get any more than 3 or 4 months because they had to prove that there was an anticipated return to work date. And they've lost their job, so they have to sell their house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the banks haven't been too aggressive by, moving in and kicking people out because they don't want to increase the supply on the market. So what they're doing is they're allowing people to actually try to sell their house right now. That's what's happening, and that's what I think is going to continue to happen because they don't want all these houses coming back and everything else. Yeah. You know what? If they were in trouble before COVID-19, they'll secure their position. And a lot of people were in trouble, Mike.
They were? We were forecasting this 3 years ago before COVID, that people were over-leveraging themselves 4 years ago before COVID.
Absolutely. Yeah.
and people in the comments section saying that all of Canada is done. Canada, the real estate is a joke. See, at least in the States, they have a bit of freedom when it comes to housing affordability, where like the entire West Coast and New York and Massachusetts are becoming like abandonment states, and so is Illinois. Illinois. Everyone's moving to like Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Texas. They're even putting up signs in Texas neighborhoods basically saying, like, they don't want, like, Californians in their area. You know what I'm saying? I kid you not. Steve, you there? Steve, did we lose you? I think we lost Steve.
Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Oh, were you driving under a bridge?
Yeah, oddly enough, I was.
Oh. Well, did you hear what I said about like the mass exodus cities in the States are really taking a toll on the taxation systems within their governments? Like California, Oregon, and Washington State have reached their tipping point. So has Massachusetts, and so has New York. Right? They're lucky because they could move to Texas, they could move to Florida, they could move anywhere. In Canada, we're screwed.
Yeah.
We don't have many cities. What
the problem here, Mike, is a lot of people don't understand the massive amounts of debt that people have taken on in Canada.
And Australia.
Yeah. And the only reason why house prices continued to go up and people had this false sense of wealth is because we're in a debt-driven economy. And until people could, as soon as they could no longer borrow against their house and refinance or get a larger line of credit or do this or do that, and things started to come back into reality. Next thing you know, the truth is starting to set in, and that's where we are right now, where we are at the 11th hour, and we are in some serious shit. We're in some serious trouble because the only thing that is actually, and you can take this to the bank, Mike, and it's been said by multiple people to me that are in the banking sector, and I'm not talking about tellers or customer service representatives.
Like Mickey Mouse, you mean the real deal, yeah.
Yeah. The lending officers basically said the only way that they can keep this going is if they print in one way, shape, or form or another and turn socialism into the real McCoy. And there is, some sort of a monthly allowance for these people, because failing which, we're going to have a serious issue on our hands. We have so many unqualified people that own real estate. It's not even funny. Some of these people don't even have proper jobs. Some of these people don't even pay proper taxes.
Yeah. And then again, I think it goes back to the first article I read earlier. What's happening in parts of the U.S. I think a lot of it has to do with bad books, bad deals, bad lending practices are going to put a lot of these financial institutions underwater.
I agree. Now, everyone's saying, oh, well, we're going to get, negative interest rates and stuff like that. You know what? That might happen.
It might happen. I've been forecasting it. The first thing they need to do is abolish cash. So this way you can't hide your money under your pillow. Then this way your money is digitized, just like a cryptocurrency, and you basically they dictate where your money goes and how much you spend, and it becomes a blueprint of where you've been, what you've been doing, and what you've been spending your money on.
Right, and I get that. And you know what? In one way, shape, or form, we already have digital currency, okay? And when I say that, credit cards, so on and so forth, debit cards, tap and go is the new, the new great thing. Now, I personally do use tap and go, but for 1 week out of every month, I force myself to use cash, okay? And I do that so that it brings me back into reality. It's like, oh, geez, wow. You know what? I took out a 20 this morning to pay for a coffee, and it's just like, by the end of the day, it's like, oh, you know what? I got a couple of coins left out of that 20. So it's a psychological thing. I encourage everybody to do it because you'll kind of sort of respect how much money goes out, and it's got to hurt. It can't just hurt when the bill comes.
Right.
It's got to hurt when you go to pay.
Exactly. And I don't know. I just see the money printers going full blast. I see more bailouts. I see some sort of, Steve, let's go back for 4 years, 5 years. Why are they so hard pressed to keep this housing market going? Creating these first-time home buyer loans because the locals can't get into their own markets. Creating all this crap, bringing in more investing, bringing in this. Steve, why didn't they just keep it honest and just say, you know what? Let's just restart the economy. We're done. Let's start over. Let's start making things affordable again for the average wage citizen. Like the middle class, the middle class is gone. Why didn't they just fix this damn thing 4 or 5 years ago? Look at us now.
Well, they're going to have to fix it now, or they got to keep it going, and there's got to be some sort of something's got to happen. And if they don't fix it now and let the cards fall where they fall, and have the write downs and write offs and the foreclosures and the bankruptcies and everything just go to hell in a handbag, they are shit or get off the pot. That's where we're at in terms of the monetary system. Our Bank of Canada, the new governor, by the way, I haven't figured out whether I approve of him or I hate him. As of right now, I just dislike him. But at the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is he is doing everything in his power, in my opinion, and others have said the same thing. He's doing everything in his power to kickstart the economy, promising, low interest rates for a considerable amount of time, or whatever he has said. It was quoted. And he's not only trying to get back the consumer confidence, because the consumer confidence will stay low until the business confidence comes back. Me as a business,
Steve, we lost consumer confidence about a year ago, before COVID.
Right. I get it, and then it was just intensified.
Right.
Okay. When all the business confidence went by the wayside. If you don't have business confidence, you cannot have consumer confidence.
Right.
He's trying to allow businesses to forecast and say, okay, well, interest rates are going to be low for a considerable amount of time, or for a long time, he said. So, you know what, whatever that means, let's say that's a 2 or 3 year plan. All right, I can plan on that. After 3 years, I really don't know what to do. Okay, but let's roll with it. Let's gamble with it. But then all of a sudden, today they've reported inflation's up. And if, inflation starts to run hot and run high, what are they going to do?
Well, they're going to obviously they're going to pass it on to the middle class consumer.
Well, if they're going to let inflation run hot for a while without raising interest rates and doing this and doing that, then you know what? We're going to have bigger problems to deal with.
Well, we start entering this weird stagflationary territory that's been non-existent because we haven't created we've created Frankenstein's monster the last 10 years with this Mickey Mouse housing mumbo jumbo that our politicians got involved in housing. What the heck are our politicians doing in housing? But anyways, anything that gets political gets destroyed. They should have just left it alone. They're going to pull, you know what? I just hope whoever comes into power in the States, pull a Ronald Reagan and raise interest rates to 5, 6, 7% overnight. And then there you go. Then Canada's going to have to follow suit.
Yeah. You know what? That'd be actually pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
You'd see freaking riots in the streets.
Well, something's going to have to happen. Something's going to have to give. In Canada, in Australia too, Australia and Canada have very limited cities that we could live in. Because either it's uninhabitable by bad weather, or if it's the outback in Australia, very harsh weathers. In Canada, same thing. It's the cold. So how do we do it? Like in Canada, like whoa, we're out. We're tapped out. We're like in my city. I live 2.5 hours east of Vancouver, and my city, my house almost doubled in price, Steve, when I bought it 4 years ago.
Right. And you know what? That's fantastic.
Oh, no, I don't want it to double in price, Steve. I want my kids to be able to have a normal job and live a normal life.
And you don't want your property taxes to go up.
Yeah, my property taxes went up too. But the thing is, Steve, back to what I was saying is that I don't want my house to worth double than what I bought it for in 4 years. I don't want that.
Yeah, that's just not sustainable. Your kids are going to be living with you forever and a day.
I don't mind that, to be honest. I really don't mind that. I don't.
No, but you want them to have their own life and their own
I want
family.
them to go out, explore. That's why I'm gonna see. My kids have a European citizenship too because of me, and if they find something in Europe or something, or they get a degree and maybe want to live in Europe for a bit, that's great. You know what I'm saying? But here, man, I don't know what to tell you, Steve. We don't have a Houston, a Dallas, a Austin, a San Antonio. We don't have 50 major cities in one province here like they do in Texas. We don't have that here. We're screwed.
Yeah, for God's sake, the armpit of Canada, Windsor, Ontario. Windsor, Ontario is ridiculous. Mike, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house in Lakeshore, Ontario, just outside of Windsor, Essex.
Yeah.
Okay? Those houses are going for like $800,000, $900,000,
and
$700,000.
8 years ago, they were going for like $160,000.
Yeah, well, yeah, something along these are brand new houses. I'll tell you that. I don't know about 8 years ago, but that same house in 2017, 2018 was bought. I know a friend of mine bought one for $460,000.
It's crazy. It's crazy. We're running out of. We have one of the biggest land mass countries on the planet, Canada, and we don't have. We just can't afford. We can't. It's like nobody wants to build housing for the middle class because there's no profit in it. So a lot of builders build for investors. So
we can't have a bunch of investors owning all of our real estate.
Well, that's what's been happening. What do you think happened when I read that article? Whites and Aboriginals leaving in Vancouver in mass exodus from 3 years ago, Steve. The article 3 years ago.
Yeah, I get it, and I understand what you're saying. So, I mean, Mike, let's roll it back here. 2 things are going to happen.
Yeah.
Either they're going to keep this Ponzi scheme going, and they're going to feed it. Okay, this fire's running hot, and they're going to continue to feed it and pour gas on it. Okay, and they're going to try to, I don't know. I don't know what the thought process behind it, how it's going to make things better if you just continue to print and, allow people to do what they need to do. But as soon as that CERB ends, all of a sudden, people no longer have money, to eat. And forget about their bills that they're behind on and that they can't eat, and their mortgage deferral. And I'm telling you, it's going to be some really painful things to see. But you know what? They might extend the CERB. They might put people on, some sort of form of stamp. And it was said already tonight by an economist that I had spoken to. She's in the U.S. She works for Capital One, I believe, or is it Citibank? Anyways, it's a friend of mine's wife, Cassandra there, and I spoke to her, and she told me, she said, "You guys are in a world of hurt."
Canada's finished, in Australia too. Canada and Australia are the 2 major nails in the coffin in the Commonwealth. Then it's New Zealand, then England, the UK, and then it's like Western United States, and then New York State, and Massachusetts and Illinois. These are the places right now as wholes that are in real problems right now.
Yeah. So I mean, Mike, it's anybody's guess. It's either gonna continue, and they're gonna let it go for another year or 2, and keep on feeding it, or they're gonna let it fall.
But what happens to the American what happens to the Canadian proper, the American proper, the Australian proper that can no longer afford to live in their own cities or in their own country? Where do they go? In America, you got a lot of leeway in America. You're lucky. Americans are so lucky they have no idea. But for Canadians, where do we go? We can't go to Mexico. We can't even buy property there. What do we do?
I don't know, Mike. I think we need to find some land and claim it. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. I mean, Mike, I'm telling you right now, in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, there are houses that need complete gut, like not complete gut. I shouldn't say that. That need to be renovated by $150,000-$200,000. In other words, you got 3 full bathrooms upstairs, Mike.
Hold on.
Every single one.
Can I interject and yell? I want to yell. Hold on. I want to yell. And I'm going to yell right now, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to yell. I was talking to a couple of developers and builders, companies that just build properties here and there, and they do private builds for people. And I was looking at this guy in Arizona. I was looking at buying a piece of land for $11,000, and I was looking to build an average mediocre type house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, good plumbing, poured concrete, orange clay roof. You know what the guy quoted me for the whole house completed, Steve?
Tell me.
$134,000, 2,100 square foot home.
Slab on grade.
So how the hell are you going to spend $160,000 in Canada on renovations on a house that already exists? I don't get it. I don't get it, Steve. And that's why I wanted to yell. Why is everything... And you know where all the lumber comes from to build a house in Arizona? All the lumber and all the wood?
Yeah.
Canada.
Yeah, the majority of it would come there. The real wood and stuff, yeah, absolutely.
So why is Canada so expensive? So you said $160,000 for gutted property, $160,000 in rentals minimum. You could build like a decent sized home in most of the United States still for that much money.
You want me to tell you why it's so bloody expensive?
Why?
Because the average house now in Kitchener-Waterloo is $680,000.
Dollars or pesos?
Dollars. Canadian dollars.
Dude.
Okay? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
That's like 500,000 American.
Yes, Mike. It's so distorted and so too far gone to the point where we were laughing about this, a couple of years ago saying, oh, it's crazy. It's too far gone. So on and so. It defies all logic. We saw a correction. Things started to come down, so on and so forth. I've never seen so many demented people in my life rushing to buy property. When we have a pandemic, we have 1 million people, 1 million, not even 1 million people. My argument is there's 1 million mortgages on deferral right now. And we'll say 50% of those mortgages are double income. So that means realistically we have 1.5 million people that have had to defer a gigantic loan, okay? A mortgage, okay? It's ridiculous how many, our unemployment rate is through the freaking roof. And if I hear one other person say that, a $15 or $18 an hour job doesn't affect the housing market, you know what? It affects the market as a whole, therefore it affects the housing market, okay? If you don't have gainful employment from A to Z, okay?
Well, yeah. Well, again, average wage earners. I did the math there earlier in the show on how much you need to make on average, what average wage earners need to make. And it's staggering what you need to take home to live a basic lifestyle. Steve, you back?
I'm back. Sorry, that was weird.
Anyways, so I've been looking at buying land in just outside of Atlanta. I was looking at 10-acre parcel, okay? It's like 40 minutes outside of Atlanta, south of Atlanta on I-75. And like $7,800. And my favorite is, Steve, when someone says, but that's American, 7,500 American. Okay, 10,000 Canadian. Steve, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm looking at land in the States. It's like what you would pay in interest in 1 year on a mortgage in Canada that buys you a whole parcel, a 10-acre parcel of land in the States.
Wow.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not making this up. You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to tell you, man. And a lot of land I've been looking at in the States, you don't need all this red tape building permits. I have a friend that owns a bit of land here, and the amount of red tape, oh, you can't build your house here. Your house has to be built in this certain zone of the house, of the land. You can't do this. You can't have a garden in this area. It's like, who the hell owns this land? You or me?
Yeah.
So, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you this much, Mike. It's going to be a very, very interesting time to be alive in the next 4 to 6 weeks, because we're going to start to see things really shift. We're starting to see things stay on the market for a lot longer.
90 plus days. 90 plus days. Once you see 90 days over, then you're going to start to see people sweat.
Yeah. So at this point, it's going to be one or the other. Either we're going to see things go for hell in a handbasket, or we're going to see things continue to go because Mr. Trudeau is going to go ahead and start giving money to everybody.
I know your friend. I know your friend JT is giving away, doing all kinds of cool stuff, and I know JT we're just lucky we haven't found life on Mars yet because Canada will send money there. So just hopefully they don't find life on Mars.
Mike, you know how I think you got it all wrong. I can't be friends with Justin Trudeau. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Or related with him? Because he never gave me any money.
Oh.
If you're his friend, or you're related to him, he gets other organizations to give you money on the back end. You know.
That kind of reminds me of our friend Hilldog that invested in some animal program stocks or something like that for a couple of $100 and got a $300,000 return on them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's great. I mean, instead, the first 4 to 5 hours of every day, I spend working for him. So in a roundabout way, instead of getting a reach around, he actually just shoves it in my rectum.
Oh my God! Oh, we're getting too technical here, Steve.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate set of circumstances. So that's what I feel about Mr. Trudeau. And if he starts giving money to everybody, then you know what? I'm going to close my business down. I'm going to take his money, and I'm going to work for cash. That's what I'm going to do, Mike.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to move to Antarctica.
No, I'm not going to that. No way. I'm going to work for cash. I'm going to take his money. As long as he's going to give it to me, I'm going to join the party. I really don't care what
Steve,
anybody
I got
else
a question for you on Skype here from Mary Cove that lives in Greenland. And says, Mike, ask your caller why people don't buy in some area outside of the expensive area and just spend $200,000, $300,000 for an average house.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. These areas existed for a considerable amount of time.
The average house is the $600,000 house.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you'd have to go right now. You'd probably have to go at least 3, maybe 4 hours north of Toronto proper. I'm talking north of Barrie. Okay, north of Cod. You got to be.
We're talking about Sault Ste. Marie.
No, Parry Sound. Parry Sound. You can get you can get a house for $200,000 or $300,000. It's not going to be much, but yeah, it'll be $200,000 or $300,000 for sure. Absolutely. Sault Ste. Marie, yeah, Elliott Lake, Sudbury, yeah, you can get something for 150 large there.
Yeah, but you're way detached up there.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. I mean, you better not have any health problems because they're just going to fly you down to Toronto.
Woo! Wow. So that's a question. Yeah. Mary Cove in Greenland. That was a good question because he's living in Greenland. So he's thinking, well, why is everyone jumping into these expensive areas? But it makes sense from an outsider looking at this show and wondering, why is everyone buying an $800,000 home for? Just buy a $200,000. There's nothing for $200,000. I don't think you can get a parking spot for $200 large.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. At this point, anything. I don't even know if you could get a detached property for 500 grand right now.
Well, we got Red Pill Gary in the comments saying even houses 6 hours from Vancouver are still over $500,000 for anything decent upcountry. And that's true. Right now, I know a lot of people that are moving up to 100 Mile House. I know people that are moving up to 200 Mile House, like way up north in all kinds of northern parts of the province, because they're bought out of merit, Steve. They're bought out of merit. The town I moved to, the small cowboy hick tumbleweed small town, that's 2.5 hours, a 2.5 hour drive from Vancouver. They're bought out of this town now. They can't even afford to come here. They're bought out of Kamloops and Kelowna. They're going way north now. We're talking like due north.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how everything's coming about. Everything's just getting very expensive, and I don't know why. I just don't understand why. I think it has to do with a combination of a few things. I think organized real estate is very much so to blame for this. I was told that in York region, house prices are going in multiple offers. Sometimes $200,000-$300,000 over asking. It's like, you know what? That's a load of It's a load of crap. Because at the end of the day, Mike, you can get 500 over asking. If you list a property as a real estate agent, 200, 300, 400,000 below what the comp supports, then you know what? Guess what? Yeah, you're going to be able to say that. Mm-hmm. You're going to be able to say, oh yeah, it sold for $300,000 over asking, mm-hmm. and it's just like wanted everything to bid up and drive the price up. And that's been happening for many, many years now. That should be outlawed. That should be absolutely ridiculous. That's criminal.
Dude, try going to Mexico and bid up a property there from the locals and see what happens.
Take your sombrero and get the hell out of here.
Yep. You can't even buy in Mexico. You're a foreigner. They don't sell to foreigners in Mexico. I tried to buy 2 times. So, yeah. Anything else, Steve?
No. I think I'm sure we'll have lots to talk about in the next couple of weeks as things wind down. I got to ask you, Mike. Do you think Lucky Sperm Mac Daddy Trudeau is going to extend CERB? Do you think he's going to do another extension?
He is going to extend it to December.
Is that what you think?
He has no choice. It's an election year in the States. He has no choice. It's an election year in the States, and they got to pull whatever they got to pull to get till the election's over, right? I know what they're doing down there. I know what they're pulling down there. So,
yeah, I just don't know how it kind of sort of affects us up here. I'm talking about Mr. Trudeau extending, the CERB.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be till December.
Yeah.
Well, but there's no choice. What are they going to do? Let all these people default? They're going to have to push it till December. Till December. Hopefully, the election's over, and then see. The problem is we wouldn't be in this problem right now if there was another president in power. The media would be focused on other stuff. They wouldn't be with this stupid sickness. It would be very different right now.
Right.
Because the origin of where the sickness came from, there's no cases. Of 1 billion people, there's no cases anymore. So, I don't know who's going to believe it, but I just don't believe any of it, so.
Fair enough. Well, if you think it's going to extend till December, then I better go out and buy some American dollar because our Canadian dollar is going to go to is going to get hit hard.
Just go buy gold.
Yeah, gold, U.S. dollar, something along those lines, because our currency is going to be worth a heck of a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay, Stevie, you take care. You stay out of jail, eh?
I'm gonna try. I'm pretty angry these days, but that's okay. It is what it is. I'm whatever. If you see the real Kevin Thompson, ask him if he wants to fight.
Oh, real Kevin Thompson is a keyboard warrior. Leave him alone.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Stevie, you take care. God bless you. We'll talk soon. And don't forget to tune in to Mike in the Night this Saturday, eh?
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I'll be around. Things aren't as crazy as they once were, but we're still busy. So, anyways, good to be with you, Mike. Take care, and thanks for having me on your show.
Okay, bye.
Cheers.
All right, guys, that's Steve. That is Steve. My man Steve, the plumber, has been coming on the show for years. We have a major housing issue, guys, and this isn't a joke. Too many people are taking this way too lightly, and now it's coming to nib them in the butt, whether they own. Remember that video I did about a month and a half ago? You're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. I remade the video because I made the video 2 years ago. I said property taxes are going to go up because the mass exodus of people leaving these major cities are not helping support the infrastructure. So what do they have to do? They have to raise the price of taxes to help subsidize these cities. We're in so much trouble right now. Mike, do you actually believe that China is taxing its citizens' offshore accounts? It's all smoke and mirrors. They are slowly buying up the world and encouraging their people to do the same. It's a long game. Yes, I know. I believe that. I strongly believe that. And I know they've been doing a lot of work in Africa, buying up and deforesting Africa. Where's that Greta Thunberg? Where is she? Parts of Africa are being completely deforested and all the wood's going to China, and 2 or 3 politicians make a couple of $100,000. IDK777 saying is being debt-free and having something in the bank is the way to go. So IDK777 is watching us from the United Kingdom. I wonder what time it is there. It's like 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning there for sure. All right. All right, let's get to the other part of the show here, the latter of the show here. So here it is, guys. Let's get to article scan real quick here. So we got house prices dip across the country with Queenstown leading falls. Covey, commercial property prices set to plunge 14%. Okay, we covered that earlier. And from warehouses to office space, real estate markets are getting turned upside down. Here's a look at the trend. You must know deals. So this goes into a huge barrage of links. I was going to read it. It looked good. And then, yeah, I'm not reading that. It's all links. And to dream the impossible dream. The laminate is laced with confusion and angst. I've got a decent job. Why can't I afford to buy a house or even rent a nice apartment? Because you sold out! Yeah, you sold out!
You suck!
Well, politicians, people in the city councilors, they're all sold out! I've been ringing the alarm on this 24/7. I've been ringing the alarm on this, and it's been happening. But at least Canada is actually transparent showing this. And this program is going into its 5th year or 6th year. No, 4th year. This is going into its 4th year. And this program has 2 years to go. And this is what's destroying the fabric of our society. Canada wants more Chinese worker students. Okay, that's nice. But 500,000 per year. Opening more visa offices with taxpayers' money could help Canada compete for Chinese workers, students, and lucrative tourist business. What about the workers in Canada? Oh, you want to see the workers in Canada? Watch this. Watch this. Canadian workers in Canada? No Canadian hires for 4 years at Chinese-owned BC mine. That's for the Canadian workers in Canada, right there. That's what happens when you sell out your country, or you have a government that sells your country out. Chris is asking, why are we mad at Chinese people? Oh, no. I'm not mad at Chinese people. My ex-girlfriend was Chinese. The one before that was Chinese. It's not about Chinese people. It's about the intentions of takeover. Economic takeover. We're in an economic war right now, and it's with China. It's not with India. It's not with Russia. It's not with Iran. It's with China. Our free market society or open markets has crippled the Canadian proper, the Australian proper, and they've been playing on our dreams as owning being part of the American dream, owning a house and having freedom and individuality. They've been playing that on us to jump into housing markets we can't afford to jump into. So Canada needs to boot China-owned companies from Canada. Well, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. We don't own Canada anymore. And that's why we didn't close flights from China during this big COVID. And we didn't stop construction in Canada because it was mandatory, essential. Construction workers building private property for Canadians that can't afford to get into their own market was essential. All right. Where's this article? Why is it blanking out on me here? Stop blanking out on me. Here we go. Home values in Seattle are up. Rent prices are down. Retail lease defaults has a rippled effect. Well, what happens is the people working there are no longer employed, and then that sends a ripple effect down, and then landlords don't get paid, and then these big investments of owning property and renting it out isn't working out. Johnny Blazel says, seriously though, you don't see the same level of China ownership in the U.S. I do. Washington State got completely bought out in 2 years once Vancouver, BC put in the foreign buyers tax. Oh, buddy from New Zealand. Mike, I'm in quarantine in Hamilton, New Zealand. Should be getting out next Monday. Next COVID test is negative. So someone just sent me 10 New Zealand dollars. Thank you so much, IDK777. Thanks for the support. No, guys, seriously. I know what's happening in the United States. It got once Vancouver and the tail end of 2016 put on the foreign buyers tax, everybody skipped Vancouver and went, look, type in Vancouver, Seattle, the new Vancouver. Where is it? Seattle Cruise Lines. There's an article that says is the new Vancouver. They got rid of the article. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Wow, they got rid of the article. I did an article where Seattle is the new Vancouver, where everybody's going to Seattle to buy up King County or the state. Oregon tipping point 407,000. Oregonians were bought out of their own markets, and tipping point was 407,000 for the average home, and then everyone just started leaving Oregon State. And California has been under siege economically by foreign investors for 18 to 20 years now. There's a guy writing a report, a Chinese guy writing a report that lives in Australia, on how the economic takeover of California started about 20 years ago, and it got really bad. And that's why you have like 70,000 homeless, or I don't even know how many homeless people in California. It's out of control. Yeah, Hollywood saying don't buy in Seattle. Oh no, Chop Zone Mikey. Woo!
You suck!
Yeah. All right. Hotels could pivot a multi-family rentals. So now they're converting hotels into multi-family rentals. That's going to be just great, right? San Diego adds tiny houses to housing affordability arsenal. This is nice to see that they're actually trying to cut through some of the red tape, especially in San Diego with the massive homeless crisis they're having right now in the city of San Diego. A lot of people drive and live in Mexico. Listen to this. and work in San Diego. Like, they actually live in Mexico and cross the border into California and work there. It doesn't have to be really San Diego, but in the vicinity of San Diego. And they live in Mexico. Go home at night to Mexico because they can't afford to live in San Diego. The whole West Coast is done. Massachusetts is done. And so is New York. Done. Liberty Return says mortgage equals death pledge. That's French for a death mark pledge in French. It means like a mark of death that you've pledged. Liberty mortgage 20 minutes out of San Francisco is affordable. Johnny Blazo says, yeah. Layla Leia says Kevin might be right. What did Kevin say? What's Kevin right about? Where's Kevin? I don't see him in the comments. What did Kevin say? You guys still see me? It looks like they cut me off. I'm back now. Refresh. Okay, it says here, Kevin, where did that go? If you're buying for long term, don't worry if prices go down. They'll come back. That's correct. Like, I didn't buy my house. I bought my house, I don't know, 4 years ago. Because I'm not paying $2 million for a teardown with no backyard. I am sorry. But my house like doubled in price, and I don't want that. I didn't buy a house to double in price. I bought a house to live in, and I'm going to be dead in 20 years. What the hell? All right, let's move on. Okay, experts warn of potential housing crisis when eviction moratorium is lifted. Again, this is coming out of Florida here. I don't want to play the video, but it says here, many South Floridians are already feeling the pinch of COVID-related housing issues. We haven't even qualified for rent assistance. So, 30,000 people across Florida. The survey found 30% of those surveyed mentioned their employment has been affected during the pandemic, has impacted their capacity to pay rent or mortgages. So, but they'll default on a $200,000-$300,000 home. Or in Canada, they're defaulting on multi-million-dollar teardowns. In Australia, too. That's the difference.
You suck!
Researcher says South Florida housing market sees highest overvaluation in 8 years, and I've been following, obviously, Florida real estate for years. I lived in South Florida, and to see the average home go to, what was it? I think it was like the average benchmark home go to like 300,000. It's like, what? Are you crazy? 300,000? That's too much. That's in Broward County, yeah. 300,000. It's like, what? And Canada, it's like, oh, I'll take that. I'll take two. All right, let's move on. U.S. existing home sales rose 20.7% in June, and this is true. Oh, as sure as my name, this is actually true. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Monthly activity remains well below pre-pandemic levels as fears about job security and health keep many potential buyers sidelined. So U.S. existing home sales rose 20.7%. Recovery is coming back, shaking off high unemployment and rising numbers of infections as buyers' pent-up demand seize on record low mortgage rates. And that's what's happening. You're getting good rates down there. You buy a $200,000 home, and that's a good home for $200,000. In most of the states, you could buy a good home for $200,000 American. Mortgage it out for, let's say, 20 years. Pay $770 a year, $770 a month. You're good. Real Kevin Thompson says little maintenance in a condo, but you still have maintenance fees. You have to pay like $300-$400 a month in some cases. Texas housing market suffers from a lack of inventory. Well, I thought everyone's losing their homes. Nope. So lack of inventory in Texas, and that's all the Californians. That's all the Californians moving in to Texas, and they're buying up properties, snapping them up, and trying to get their feet on the ground before they're either A, bought out of the market forever, or B, at least have something they can live in and start a family. I hope it's B. I hope people are out there to start families. And I started my family late because getting into any market was absolutely crazy where I used to live. Yeah, so what time is it? Oh my god, we got time for one more caller. Okay, everyone's asking for a Shima to call. Wow, she just sent me a long letter here. Holy crap. I did not read it. All right, let me just call her right now. Ashima, you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
Loud
I can
and
hear you
clear.
perfectly. I saw you earlier on the comment section in the show.
Yeah. I just booked a house for myself. That's all I could do. Waiting.
Uh-huh.
So, I can't really say a lot because probably I'm bound by things, But just to give you an overall, the builders have started lowering things. I can let you know. So I probably bought a house which was defaulted by someone else.
Oh, so you bought a house.
Yes, I have.
Congratulations. I know you've been saving for a million years. So what's the deal? Like, is it a good one? I know you made a good deal.
Well, it is okay. Not too good, not too bad. But I think this was the right time because I just, even if I don't like a few things, I'll just compromise for the moment. But the house is nice. I really, really soundly, whatever I bought, I know that even if I don't pay the whole, I will still keep, even if I pay a 50% down, I will still keep the rest in my bank, which will get me a 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
So I have done the math, I've really done the math. And then only I went for this purchase. But the only thing I am little concerned about is the greediness of the whole system.
My concern, like now that you own, that's great. But my concern is property tax.
Yeah, so that's what they asked me. They told me that my property tax is going to be somewhere around 7,500.
Okay, guys living in the United States, pay attention. 7,500 per year is about 5,000 US a year in property tax.
And this is not in GTA, right?
GTA is the Greater Toronto Area, not Grand Theft Auto. Continue.
And this is further down GTA, so I don't want to be very exact, but it's further away. And in spite of all that, so this is Mike. It's just not about the housing. I found out so many things. I've had my friends in crude and trading all over the world. They tell me that Canada does not even want. They have these. There's a cartel of a global group which pays these NGOs to keep on cropping up this carbon emission, and so they don't even want to develop and drill their own crude, which Canada is very rich in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't take any of our resources, and we ship all our lumber to Montana, and they build houses with our lumber, and they pay cheaper for our lumber, and their houses are cheaper.
So Trudeau is being paid, right, to come up and actually stand with these NGOs, mm-hmm. right, and have all the Canadians not even being thrown out of the gas and energy sector. Let me tell this to you. And I know this is I know, and I cannot prove it, but I definitely know people who've traveled Russia. I know people who've traveled Middle East, and I know people who've traveled all over the world, and I know people in this industry, Mike. Mm-hmm. Right? And I can confirm it that this is what Canada is doing. They say that they're very honest. Mike, I doubt it.
It's not
The
heartbreaking,
latest
Ashima.
scandal.
It's not heartbreaking. It's not breaking my heart. I know
So,
that Canada would do what it has to do to keep this, whatever it
well,
is they're trying to do, keep
Canada,
going.
I'm a patriotic because I'm a Canadian and I plan to be so. But I don't like what Trudeau is doing, and I don't like that they're paying the opposition just to, what opposition just says things, but they never pull the carpet under his feet, right?
Mhm.
They can do it, but I feel that they have appointed their own opposition because they like Andrew Scheer. What will he do? Big deal. They'll just say a few things and
Some
I mean,
Mickey Mouse, right?
elected. Yeah. So why is he elected in the first place if he doesn't have the majority? So who elected him? These people, there's a cartel of people, which we've all been talking about, Mike. This is
I
not
know.
new
I know
things,
I have a target on me. That's okay. You know what? At least I know that I've been trying to do the right thing for so many years now. You know what I'm saying? And just try to make people aware, not waking up the sheep, but just, hey guys, look at this. Hey guys, how do you feel about this? Hey guys, do we still have a country here anymore to fight over?
So, Mike, they're giving a 2% or a 1.68 on a. So, why they have to give 1.68 on a CMHC insured mortgage on a high ratio mortgage? Why?
Well,
If someone's not paying, they're giving them a cheaper rate. And
Yeah.
if someone who's paying is getting a 2.36, why?
because they can't afford a housing collapse. Canada is too tied to more real estate that when we had the COVID, and during
So,
COVID,
if the
construction
housing
was
collapse-
mandatory, was essential
So,
business.
Yeah, but Mike, the housing will collapse if you give such rates to people who can't even afford a 20% down. A less than 20% down is getting a 1.68.
That's not fair.
That's not fair.
It's
And a person
definitely
who's
not
ready
fair.
to pay more is getting a higher rate.
That's I see everything again. It's Canada. It's all backwards. It's like a clock. You know a clock on the wall. In Canada, the clocks go counterclockwise, not clockwise.
So then again, coming back to the same thing, Mike, they are not, you're right. Everything is so linked to housing. But Mike, today I had a student come up to my home, just rang my bell random. I opened the door. Mike, he said, I need to do a job. And I can help you out doing your weeding and your front and your backyard. I said, yeah, I'll be more than happy to do that. Why don't you go and do it? So he said, asked him, how much are you going to charge? And why aren't you getting jobs? So he said, I used to go and work at Tim Hortons. He's a teenager, right? And all the students used to, but I'm not getting any more jobs anywhere. No McD, no Tim Hortons, no pizza, nothing. So I said, I'll help you out. And he did my backyard and my front yard. And he asked me for $20 and he got his bag where he could put in my greens in there, right? I said, I gave him more than 20. I gave him a 25. I said, that's it. But Mike, what I'm trying to tell you is that if we're not able to take care of our students and we have these corrupt prime ministers giving all the money to what do you think is going to happen to Mike, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot by the nature that I live in a place, I belong to that place.
Mm-hmm.
And I die for that place, right? And I make it sure that at least if not anyone else, I can help my neighbors and the people living in my community. That's all I think of, what I can do for my community, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my husband and we try to go lectures. My husband gives lectures at universities, colleges free of cost, Mike, free of cost.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we want to do for the students. Let them get a good opportunity to be. But Mike, the inward thing is, are we, if I want to start a new business, hypothetically, I'm going to start one. I get a mortgage at 1.68, but if I want to start a new business, I get a business loan at 6%, 6.5 or 7%. That also I have to prove with all my numbers that these are so many years I've done this, I've done that, I've done.
Qualify for 7%, yeah. And that's
And
high. 6.5% is a lot of vig.
Yeah, and I start spinning the numbers and, crunching the numbers. And those people who declare bankruptcies are turning around. They get another business, another loan. I don't know how these people have contacts even to buy homes. They produce artificial papers. And people who are honest get the highest rates hit on them. Nobody respects them because, oh God, they're paying,
Mm-hmm. And the people that are most honest and the people that do it by the book pay more. That's crazy. And it doesn't surprise me. Like I said, in Canada, the clocks go backwards here. They
Yeah,
don't
so
go
if I
forward here.
don't want to pay money, I get a 1.68. But do I want to do that? Do I want to pay a 30 or whatever thousand for the CMHC insurance? I'm never going to do it.
Mhm.
And I don't want that installment on my, Mike, I feel hypothetically, if I lose all my money, not that I will, if I lose all my money in the banks, even if it's in a savings account, but I've still not paid my mortgage, so I'll be dying.
Mhm.
I just can't sleep on it.
I'm just concerned about the $7,500 per year in property tax. That's a
And I'm
concern.
talking, and another problem is students not getting employed. Where people want to work, let them earn money. So that's the first, like, I've never seen this happen before. A student walking up and saying, "Well, there are no jobs. If you could refer me," and I was like, "Oh gosh!" And and this is not one student, Mike. I've spoken to many students like this, and this is just a school student, high school student. I'm talking about universities and college student. Why do we call these students here if we can't even provide for them, and then have these scandals going to we? It's a shame.
Mhm.
Mike, I don't ever want to be a prime minister or even a leader in a local municipality.
Mhm.
Excuse me, just keep people happy. Just keep on whisking off taxes from them and not even doing anything for the community or where this money is going, Mike. We not question. Nobody wants to question, and even if we do, we're gonna be blacklisted. And I don't know what goes on. And you're right, Mike. These people get behind you. What else is your credit score? What else is your credit score?
Mhm.
It's
Well,
another way of getting, right?
honestly, Ashima, I think they're going to start rolling in a few things in Canada in the next 5 years. I think they're going to bring over the social credit score. I think they're going to bring over more stuff that's going to, because
And I think
it's working in China, and they might bring it here because they want to keep us in line here, and they want to make sure that we're being good citizens. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but Mike, as a human nature, I refuse to not question whatever I find is wrong. And if I die not questioning, then I'm not answerable to my life.
Mm-hmm.
In my life, and that's what I've been taught. If I don't agree with something, because Mike, I essentially feel that people don't go wrong, things do.
Mm-hmm.
But the things which are in power of those people, the higher ups, which we don't, it's not in our power. We should always question.
That's correct. Never stop
And
questioning and asking questions. We got
that
Nat Pashuk here in the comments saying, I just bought 5-acre farmland and he pays $36 a year in property tax.
And that's a very good thing to do. Just buy farmland, grow your own food.
Yeah, but that's not in Canada though. You buy 5 acres of farmland. You're paying a lot of money in property tax in Canada.
Yeah, so Mike, we don't know. Are we paying to the crown? We really don't know what's going on inside. You and I
That's
don't know.
That's a lot of cake. $7,500 a year, and just count how many homes are on your street, and then multiply that by 7,500 on one block. Okay, then take the average of blocks that you have in your city or your proximity of 5 miles. You'll see that's millions, if not. I wouldn't say billions, but that's millions of dollars a month in property tax they're collecting.
It's going. Yeah, where's it going?
Well, it's not going into infrastructure because the streets are falling apart.
And then the builders are charging me the development fees, whatever the municipal, which I'm ready to pay. But I'm just telling you, all right, I'm ready to pay all these development charges. But who's pocketing all these profits? The builder is. Why shouldn't he be paying these charges? So, the government and the builders are in hands and glove. All these municipalities. Mike, it's really sickening. And it's getting even worse. All I need is a good, reasonable roof on my head. So I just bought something just clean and neat, not very frilly. It's not, I don't think I've overpaid it, but if I was in a country or in Asia, I think I've overpaid it. Because all this money, all this Mickey Mousing, you're right, just ripping off people of their money. And Mike, as I said, I don't know to whom these taxes are really going. Part of it is definitely going to the schools and the local boards, making our students study. But I really doubt it, Mike. A lot also goes, if you see all these central bankers and where all things go, who does the land belong to in Canada? The crown, right? I think there's something which I and you don't know, or We can never
Well, we
know.
don't know. I don't think we're supposed to know, because I think if we
That's
knew
why
and we
people
talked
like
about it, we
Trudeau
wouldn't be talking much
Yes, we
longer.
won't. Yes. And that's why people like Trudeau get in without majority, right? Scandals unlimited. Butts is back in his caucus, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, and JD, they're out. So we know it, and they probably just pay the opposition to come there and ask them questions. Well, the opposition does, but where has Trudeau gone? Nowhere. He's still there.
Isn't he MIA,
In spite,
missing in action?
sorry?
Isn't he missing in action somewhere, or he's broadcasting from somewhere weird all the time or something?
No. He was. I just recently saw him answering on V live on CBC. They were showing something in the Parliament with his long hair.
Oh, don't believe the news.
and
It's all fake.
Oh, absolutely. I don't even believe in the opposition parties over here.
No,
Why
it's
did
like
they-
everything you watch on the news. Just ask yourself: was this filmed
Yeah,
four
the
years ago,
opposition
and they're broadcasting it now?
I want to know why Jagmeet Singh, why did the opposition have to support him? What has he done for them? Why?
Nothing.
Why can't we have a change? Why can't we have someone who's thinking fresh?
Because we remember we talked about this on Mike in the Night. Even if you get a Ross Perot or someone that's not there for the money and someone that's actually going to be there for the people, they're not going to last. They don't want those people in power, regardless.
Yeah.
A grassroots movement party that's there for the people, by the people, to represent the
They don't want
working class.
Yes, absolutely. You just said it. This is a cartel who's paying the NGOs. Mike, have you ever thought about it? These NGOs, from where are they getting the funding? From a cartel which is not in Canada.
That's right.
You have to understand. Who's controlling these energy prices? A cartel who's not in Canada, but is paying these people. So, and that's what everybody's been talking about. A Federal Reserve is not Federal Reserve. It's probably Rothschild's, Bank of England.
Well, no, it's a foreign entity. It's not on American soil, right? It's an independent. It's like the Vatican. It's not part of America.
So if they are in profit, they get the profits. But if they're in losses, a common man pays for the taxes. And a similar case with Canada. I don't think there is much difference. They show that there is. They show that thing. They show Trudeau, and they show that thing between Trudeau and Trump. But this is a game. It's all already planned. Before the markets are even changed, Mike, they're already planned to change it. Try trading online. You already trade. You know it.
Faith Thompson is saying in the comments, tax without representation.
Yeah.
We're being taxed
So no
with
representation.
$7,500 a year in property tax. Are you worried your taxes might go up next year?
So my taxes are going to be $7,500.
Okay, I have a friend who's paying $9,770 a year in property tax. 1 hour, 40 minutes out of Toronto.
So that's what exactly what I've been telling you. Last time I told you I have friends who are paying $1,000 per month.
Per month, $1,000 per month.
And these are not luxury homes. These are normal homes.
Yeah, no, a normal home. People watching this in Greenland, like that guy. Let me go back to his message here. This guy from Greenland.
100 lot, Mike. I'm not talking of a 100 by 100 or 120 lot. I'm not talking of 5 acres. I'm talking of just a 34 by 100 lot.
Right, but this guy Mariakov in Greenland is asked one of our Steve saying, why do people buy outside of that area and just spend $200,000 on an average home instead of buying the $800,000 home? But people living outside of Canada need to understand the $800,000 home is the average home.
So you just said it, and I bought my house for the same price which you just said. There's nothing less than that.
800 large.
Yeah. What to do?
Wow.
What to do?
Yeah, I'm just digesting that right now.
Mike, I can't help it. There is nothing even reasonable. You can get a shack for around 700, 600, 650, 700. You'll get crap.
The problem is, Ashima, if let's say the average $800,000 home goes down to $400,000 to tie in with average wage earners. Here's the problem with that: your property taxes are going to go up still.
Yeah, and I'm talking of a 1.5 hour drive from Toronto.
1.5 hour drive from Toronto?
Yeah.
Where's that, in Buffalo?
Well, somewhere there, you could say.
Okay.
Yeah.
So holy smokes, it's like holy crap.
I'm talking of a 1.5 hour drive and, subject to traffic conditions.
Hmm.
Yeah, but that's the amount you take in a regular time to commute here. But Mike, for us, like we have to look at where we're working. We have to look at the proximity of a port. So we have interests in, like that's where we work. We do our job here. We can't move.
Yeah.
What do I say? I can't say a lot. But I'm just telling you that yeah, you just be a buyer and you're ready to be ripped off by the whole nexus because they say, oh, the land is very expensive. What the land is expensive for? There are farmlands over here. Next to my house, there's a farmland. It's so cheap.
Hmm.
What's the land expensive for? You convert farm into they just changed the zoning, right? So what's the land expensive for?
Oh, they do it on purpose. They purposely rezone and call towns cities so you pay more property tax. You know what I'm saying? They
So
do
they
that
pay
on purpose.
this land to the builders. They change the zoning of the agricultural land to the residential land,
Hmm.
and then say it's expensive. They gotta be kidding, Mike. They gotta
It's
be kidding.
it's depressing. It's depressing. Okay, Ashima,
All
I'm
right.
gonna let you go because I already wrapped into my second hour,
Okay.
and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I gotta go
Provide
take care of a
lot
few
of
things here.
information, right? Okay, I'll let you go at
We'll
that.
talk soon. I
And
promise. Don't forget Mike in the Night this Saturday.
been signing documents in left, right, and center. So it's been a whirlwind for me. It's not easy, Mike. It's not easy.
Okay.
Believe me, you.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
That is Ashima who bought a house. Congratulations. And the only thing that concerns me about it is was it $7,500 a year in property tax? And she knows people that pay $12,000. I know a guy that pays $10,900. And then we have Markiov in Greenland saying, why don't they just buy the $200,000 home in another area? That is the $200,000 home. The $800,000. That's the average home. Man, we're getting shafted. Anyways, guys. I'm tired, guys. I had a long day. I had a long day today. I came tonight full force to do this show for you guys. I love you guys. Thanks so much, guys. One last channel plug, if you guys don't mind. Please, I'm asking to set your reminders to, if you can, to Mike in the Night. This Saturday, we're going to be doing Mike in the Night. All along, I was never in doubt. I just make up stupid titles for these shows because in the 24 hours, the world dynamics or geopolitical or the world changes so fast. So we can't even put a title for a show on the Saturday because who knows what's going to happen by that time. And Mitch Madden in the house, Hollywood in the house. So guys, don't forget to set your reminders. Watch this one, Maximus. Watch this one, China's Getting Ready. Are you ready? You guys want to watch these videos. They're actually really good. And don't forget to shop Teespring. Buy a t-shirt if you like. And guys, don't forget, if you don't mind, sorry, I got a lot of... Slick Nick messaging me there. Okay, guys, don't forget to follow me on Facebook. If you guys want to message me here on Facebook. I'm trying to change the page to a public figure. They won't do it. They want to make me a business with 115,000 followers. And guys, here's my Instagram. If you guys want to follow me, you're welcome to follow me on there. And don't forget to watch the McChronicle channel. Why they hate Mike Martin's video here. That's a really good video. It gets to the point. And subscribe to the McChronicle. And the MTG.toys, guys. I've been working on this for a grueling month and a half. Guys, check out my little website here I did for my store. Check it out, guys. Check out my little website here I did for my store. And if you guys are bored, since I got a lot of people watching right now, go to playlists. Watch this playlist if you got some downtime. It's called Project Tabletop. Where is it? Here it is. Project Tabletop. I sing at the beginning. It's kind of cute. Guys, you want to watch something? Watch this. Project Tabletop. I took the local drug den. There was a local drug den in my area. And it's literally a drug den. You see the video. And I converted it into what you see here today. My little game store. And stuff I sell. If you guys want to check it out. Just go check it out. I don't ship anything yet. But check out what I've been doing and what I've been up to. Lord Humongous in the house. I'm getting an MTG tat on my chest. Mikey for life. Night, everyone says 3RG. Vman293 says all lives matter. Well, who said they didn't matter? All lives matter. Who said they don't matter? Hollywood, Craig. Craig Cook, Anthony Ruvalakaba. Who else do I got here? Tignim, Mike Banks, Ben Savage. Man, there's all kinds of people out there. Guys, share this video. Get it out there as we wind down the show. Thank you so much for being on. And I'll see you guys on Mike in the Night. Guys, please be here for Mike in the Night. I promise you, you guys will like Mike in the Night. And we got all kinds of... We're just covering current events. So who knows what's going to be current by the next 3 days. We never know nowadays. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, guys, take care. And if you can't take